Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at Galaxy Games with Tyler Andrews. He is back with the updated version of his Blue Eyes. If you recognize the name, he actually was in the Round 1 feature of YCS Columbus, which he won. Also ended up in the Round 7 feature match of the North America World Championship Qualifier. He was actually 6-0 going into that. At the end of the day, I believe you were 8-4, correct?
Yep.
Top 150, which is a pretty big accomplishment for Blue Eyes, considering you don't have alternative yet. But yeah, he's got an updated version with the new Felgrand support. So let's get right into it.
Alright, so you still got to play 3 Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Still never changes. Still not the best card in the deck, but he's always there. I cut it down to 2 Spirit Dragons. I was playing 3, there wasn't that many level 8s in the deck, but with the new Felgrand, he replaces it.
Yeah.
Money with Meiru in the first place in a row.
Still 3 stones. The level 1 tuner is still important.
Yeah.
Still need it to go into all your synchro plays. Still searchable off stage. And then still summoning this guy at the end phase to remove back row is probably his best use.
Yeah.
3 Sage. With how the deck is now, using him to get Effect Veiler is probably the best play for him. Against Monarchs, it's the hardest matchup. Stormforth and Erebus still kind of, beat you on its own.
Yeah.
I am now main decking 3 Maxis.
Interesting.
It's a must. Everyone's special summons. Monarchs even special summon more than me sometimes.
How was this for you during the World Championship Qualifier?
This was the best card I had. Against any PK Fire player, it was +1, +2.
Yeah.
Sometimes even more. Even on my opponent's turn, when they'd summon floaters, I could use it.
Yeah.
Beatrice into Dante into Seer Graph, whatever. So it was just always free advantage. Definitely the best choice of that whole weekend. 1 Glow Bulb, the best way to make Crystal Wing. Without it, you really can't make Crystal Wing now, since some of the few changes I made. I'm no longer playing the other field spell and playing Dragon Ravine in its place. So without this, it's a little bit more tough to make Crystal Wing if you're not going first. So that's why he's there. The new Felgrand, he is way busted. Anytime you destroy a monster, you get a free level 8 out of your graveyard, or 7. So he just brings back Arc Brave, and you can kind of loop them together.
Yeah.
Also, banishing monsters out of the graveyard or field is super good. You can banish their bar so they can't recycle it, so they can't just burn you for game at the end. Banishing Beatrice instead of letting it become Dante is just really good. As banishing, always the best. Arc Brave is the level 7 dragon out of the structure deck. It banishes all face-up spell and trap cards. So against any Pendulum deck, I've only played 2 of them, but you just summon him, banishes their Scales, their Sky Iris. Sky Iris doesn't protect him because it doesn't target.
Can be a blowout against Demise decks as well.
Oh yeah, he definitely takes care of Floodgates really well. 1 Master still. I really like that I can add back any of my tuners to my hand, or add back Effect Veiler.
Yeah.
Also, his ability to summon the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon out of the graveyard is still really important. Blue Eye Spirit Dragon's, really good against PK Fire. It shuts off, Break Sword.
Yeah.
Can't float down with the Break Sword if they can't destroy it, So he's really good.
Also, if they play Fire Lake main or side, they can't recycle it back off of Dante.
Yep. Negating graveyard effects with spirits, what's important.
Yeah.
1 Effect Veiler still, just 1. You don't really need more than 1 with Master, and it being searchable off of Sage. I might decide to up this later on. It's really bad against Cosmos, so I really I expected to see a lot more Cosmo players than I did.
Yeah.
But I mostly played PK Fire all day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe just bumping up to 2 to see it more off of like the Max C play, possibly.
Maybe. Still 1 White Stone in the Legend. It adds a Blue Eyes to your hand to make your trade-ins live.
Yep.
So it's really good for that. You can pitch it off the Dragon's Ravine to, it just makes it so trade-in's never bad. 1 Terraforming to search out my 2 copies of Dragon Ravine. I wish Dragon Ravine was at 3, or I would definitely just play a 3rd copy. It'd be easier.
And then you find that just so much better to Mausoleum to where you don't even play it.
It is now with the level 7 and the level 8 Dragon out of the structure deck. Just they become so much harder to dump since he's 7.
Yep.
They're also not searchable either, so this just gets you to them faster for your revival cards.
Okay.
Still 2 Dragon Shrine. Not much change in there. It just gets you free cards in your graveyard. It's like extra foolish.
Yep.
2 Silver Scry now instead of 3 with the new spell card Return Out. You don't need Swing of Memories anymore. So you can just cut this one down to 2. This is definitely the best card in the deck now.
Yep.
Return of the Dragon Lords. Brings back any of your 7 or 8 dragons, including Crystal Wing or any of your synchros you go into early. And then it also brings back your Felgrand and your Archbrave.
Yep.
Along with that, it protects them.
Yep. Like Void Seer.
Yep. A lot of the times I use this card, people would try to make a Break Sword and destroy Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, and then this would just replace that. And they'd try to float down with their Break Sword, but Blue Eye Spirit, you can't summon 2 monsters at the same time.
Yep.
A lot of people just kind of look over this card and just like, oh, whatever, you get a guy back. A lot of people didn't,
Realize
really
it protects too. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, definitely the best card now, though. 3 trade-in. You gotta keep consistency, so you gotta keep drawing cards. You always have a lot of level 8s in your hand. You usually lose the games you get stuck with a bunch of level 8s.
Yeah.
Only 1 card of Consonance now. I do play 4 targets for it, but it's just not as good as it was before with, the field spell and additional normal summoning the level 1s.
Yeah. Plus, you're dumping those tuners a lot with Dragon Ravine.
Yeah. So sometimes this card just kind of sits in my hand. A lot of the times I'll just discard it off for Dragon's Ravine.
Yep.
1 Regeki. It's just a catch-all. It's there. 1 for 1. Again, it's a lot harder to summon Crystal Wing without the Mausoleum of Light. So this just helps you get there.
It's a second glow up ball.
Yep. 1 Upstart Goblin. Yep. 39 cards. All I need to say. I hate it. 1 Soul Charge. The best card in the deck.
Yeah.
Well, other than Gospel.
Can be a win condition.
Unfortunately, this doesn't protect them, but this gets me a board I hopefully can't, lose with. This card, every time I resolve this card, you win the game, hands down.
Yep.
It's hard to lose when you bring back 5 guys and go into all your big plays. 1 Twin Twister, just to remove random back row. A lot of cards don't really affect me in the back row, like Fogblade's not that big of a deal with, Blue Eye Spirit Dragon banishing it, and Blue Eyes White Dragon being vanilla, which actually really matters a lot, as I've learned, being able to just attack without having to worry about anything.
You felt like 1 in the main deck was enough?
Yeah, 1 in the main was quite adequate.
Okay.
1 Foolish Burial, just to send, either Glow Up Bulb or Master to the graveyard instead of just one of my dragons. Also playing 3 Dragon Shrine tends to clog a little bit, because you can only have to 1 per turn.
Yep. 40 card main deck?
Yep, 40 cards. Can't play anymore.
Yep.
For the extra deck, I played 1 Blue Eyes Twinburst Dragon. This is the only card I actually didn't make in all 12 games this weekend. Or the weekend of the event. Yeah, did not make it a single time. During my playtesting, I made it almost every time against PK Fire, but, it just didn't happen that way this weekend. 2 Blue Eye Spirit Dragons. Definitely one of the best cards in the extra deck. Just goes into all your Dragon Synchro monsters. The negating graveyard effects was super important because I played so much PK Fire. I unfortunately didn't play any Cosmos, or I'm guessing it would have came in handy there as well.
Yep.
Azure Eyes. Normally you just summon him off the Spirit Dragon. Protects all your dragons, bring your guys back. Crystal Wing. I did make him quite a bit, even with changing the field spell and all that. Still, super strong and super annoying to get over.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's just still not as good against Monarchs as anything else. I made Stardust Spark a lot this weekend.
Really?
Or during the event of the NAWCQ. I keep saying this weekend. That was a while ago.
Last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend. I make him a lot off of the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon just so I can overlay after I, use him for whatever I need him for. Also being able to protect other cards than himself is really important. Sometimes I want to protect like Hope Harbinger or something else.
Okay.
Yeah. Moonlight Rose is really good in there. It's more there for disruption than it is for going into my own plays. A lot of the times they'll summon a Dante or a Beatrice and I'll just want to tag out and put it back to their extra deck. Ancient Fairy. You only actually ever go into this one normally if you're going first, because this helps you get into Crystal Wing as well, because it's summoning a level 1 tuner from your hand.
Yep.
Also, if you get your Dragon's Ring in turn 1, you get to pop it, get 1,000 life points, get your other one. I really don't like going into it if I'm going second. Michael, he's another good one to go into if you're going second. You get to summon this before you get to banish a card before you go into your Crystal Wing. It's a lot. Banishing anything is always good. It's always a lot better than just destroying.
Yep.
Breaksword, Dante, Beatrice, all just aren't very good if they're banished.
Right.
One Felgrand. Felgrand was really good. He was alright against Monarchs, negating Erebus or protecting himself from being Stormforth. Unfortunately, he's just not good against much else, actually. So I was actually considering cutting him from the deck. 38 Hope Harbinger, always good against Monarchs. The best is that he doesn't actually negate the spell card, but that he negates the effect of the spell card. So they can't activate a second Stormforth right afterwards.
Right.
The detach effect still has not actually came in any effects. Normally they just find a way, or try to find a different way around it, other than battle. So.
Yep.
And then the Galaxy line, you have 62. I play 62 over 107. 107's effect doesn't really come in handy. Plus, 4K is a lot higher than anything else.
Yep.
He can beat over Dark Planets. On top of him, you play full armor. Pops a face-up card. A really good card for me, definitely, was 95. 95 is super important now that I play the different dragons in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
He always dumps Felgrand and Arcbrave usually. They're usually still in my deck when I make him. It's almost it's +2 usually because you send a stone, Arcbrave, and Felgrand. So Arcbrave gets Felgrand, the stone gets a Blue Eyes. And then banishing through monster your opponent's deck's always good.
Yeah.
It's just cards they don't get. I played a Cleafort player, and they play about 8 monsters in their deck, and I banished 3 of them, so he has, hardly any cards to win with now.
Yeah.
One of those is Scout. Can't really kill me with a Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was super good. Definitely really important that he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
The sideboard was definitely really good. There are definitely 2 cards I would change in here that don't need to be in here. But it started off with 3 Koa'ki Meiru Dragos. Came in versus every PK Fire player. Just kind of locks them out of the game sometimes. The only time it did not lock someone out of the game is when they opened up with Terror Top. They went Terror Top into Takatemborg into Nightmare Shark to attack over it. Yeah, it was the only time I've ever seen someone do that. So
That's really interesting. Like using Nightmare Shark not for its attack directly effect.
yes. But it was his only out, and then after that I just, he had to waste his entire turn. Couldn't go into Dante or Beatrice, get any advantage, so I just kind of beat him from there.
Nice.
2 Effect Veiler. Again, the Monarch matchup's what needs the most work, so boarding these in is what really gets you there. I played 1 Domain Monarch player day 2, and these just did all the work for me. I boarded in 2 Honest. These were for Vanity's Fiends. The biggest thing I have a problem with are the Vanity's Fiend. It just, again, it locks me out of the game over anything.